This video tutorial will provide you with the understanding of the utility menu located in the software menu toolbar. The utility menu provides a list of different functions, some of which need to be performed daily and are also found on the WIP summary, and others which do not need to be performed as frequently. This video tutorial will cover the utility menus of Retrieve Returns, Transfer Returns, Export Records, Restore Backup Returns, and User Preferences. For information on the functions of the utility menu that are not mentioned in this tutorial, refer to the AccuTax User Manual. Retrieve Returns. The Retrieve Returns utility is used by a transmitting computer to open files that have been transferred by a non-transmitting computer. To retrieve returns from a non-transmitting computer, click on the utility menu in the software menu bar and select the Retrieve Returns option. The Select a File to Retrieve window will open. From the drop-down list, locate the Returns folder where you previously transferred the data from the non-transmitting computer. The files in the folder will be listed in the open window. Select the file that you want to retrieve. The file will appear as the file name that was used during the transfer. Click Open to open the Transfer File Contents window. Select the returns to be retrieved by clicking on them. You can use the Select All button to select all of the returns, or use the Clear All button to unselect all of the returns. Note, if the Retrieve Return Already Exists window appears, click Yes to overwrite the existing return and replace it with the retrieved return. Click No to skip the existing return, or click the Escape key on your keyboard to abort the retrieval process. Click OK, and the Return Lookup screen will open with a list of retrieved returns. Restore Backup Returns. This function allows you to restore returns you previously stored using the backup function on the Work in Progress screen. In order to use the Restore Backup Returns feature, Return Restore must be included in your software package. You should regularly use the backup function to protect data, but the Restore Backup Returns function will only be needed when something has happened to your return data. For an in-depth tutorial on backing up your data within the software, watch the Backup Data video in the AccuTax University Library. To restore backup returns, click on the Utility menu in the Software toolbar and select the Restore Backup Returns function. The Backup File Contents window will open with a list of saved returns, along with the Return Lookup screen. In the Backup File Contents window, the backup path will auto-populate if this path was set up during the database setup. If the returns were saved to a different backup path, browse for the correct path and select it. Next, to list return, use the drop-down box to select one of the following. To show a list of all saved returns, which will include copies of the same return if the return was backed up more than once. Show Most Recent. To show a list of the most recently saved returns. This includes only the most recently backed up copy of an individual return. Or Show Recent Over Directory, which will show the last complete list of saved returns and includes only copies of returns that no longer exist in the current directory. Check the box next to the returns you want to restore, or use Select All button to choose all of the returns, or use the Clear All button to clear those returns you have already checked. Click the Restore button to restore the returns that were selected. Note, if a return being restored already exists in the current program data, you will be prompted whether you want the existing return replaced by selecting one of the following. Yes, to overwrite the existing return with the saved return. Note that any changes made to the return since the last backup will be lost. No, to keep the existing return. Or All, which will overwrite all existing returns with the saved returns. Click OK on the window, prompting you as to how many returns were restored to return to the lookup screen. The Return Lookup screen will show a list of the restored returns. Export Records. The Export function allows you to export client data and return information to an external database or spreadsheet program for the facilitation of custom sorting and reporting. AccuTax saves the data in a comma-delimited file format, which is used by the majority of other software programs. To export records from AccuTax to an outside program, click on the Utility tab in the Software menu bar and select Export Records from the drop-down menu. The Export Records window will open. Select an export name from the drop-down list to choose the data you would like to export. In the field next to Output Name, enter the path name of where you would like to export the data to. You can type in the location or browse for the location. Once you have selected the output file name, click the Export button. Some of the exporting data will require you to enter creation date in a month, day format. For example, January 1st is entered as 0101. A window will appear showing how many returns have been exported. Click OK. To view the exported data, open the database or spreadsheet program and open the file where the data was exported. You will be prompted to convert the comma-delimited file to a useful format. User Preferences. The User Preferences function allows the user to quickly access the login preferences that are available when the login account is created during setup. This function allows the user who is currently logged into the program to select different preferences and override some selections made during setup. This function also allows the current user to change his or her password. For an in-depth tutorial on the login preferences setup, watch the Creating a Paid Preparer and Login video in the AccuTax University Library. After watching this video, you should now understand the functionalities of the utility menu. Check out our many in-depth training video tutorials in the AccuTax University Library.